Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at how we are going to create this particular dashboard on your screen. So before we come back here, let us look at the previous creation from the same data, which is healthcare provider dataset. So in the previous video, we actually created this one. If you want to actually follow along step by step, so you might need to watch this, and I have the link in the description box of this very video. So focusing on this very one that we're going to be building today, you can see we have used custom chart from Zebra BI, which you might not have as a default chart in your Power BI desktop. I am going to show you how to actually get it downloaded and use it 100% free, or you can actually start a free trial of 30 days. So if you want to actually get started to create with me, all you have to do is to go ahead and download all the resources we have actually used for this particular dashboard. Hi everyone, I am Ismaila Omeza Abdulmomin, the creator of the Tower Decision. So if this is your first time hitting this particular channel, you might want to do me a favor to actually subscribe to this particular channel, like, leave a comment, and as well share to your friends and family or even your co-workers that might need to learn about Power BI or Microsoft Excel. So let's get started. Before we start the creation, let us take a look at how the dashboard would look. So the dashboard has two different versions. So here is the light version. To get to the dark version now, you click over here. Now, here is the dark version. So we can use the filter we have here. So we can filter any part of our choice. So any department. When we filter department, this particular place is going to be narrowed down to the department. Like if I do this right now, look at what happens. So this is exactly what you would see. Then you can go by city or state, or you can go by this particular patient race right here. So once you are done, close your filter. You can actually step off from the dark mode. Okay, this is what it is. So the chart we have used right here is actually the Zebra BI charts, which I'm going to show you how to actually get. Then coming over here right now, you can take a look at what this chart is all about. So this chart is showing weekday basis analysis based on department. And if I just go ahead and click on this particular general surgery here, let's see what happens. So it gives me the overview of general surgery, right? Then when I hover over this particular part, it's actually giving me the tooltip that displays the total billing amount for this particular day of the week and as well the previous week. So if you look at the previous week now, what should come to mind here should be Friday, and it's 112. Let us step off and you can see 112 over here as Friday. So when we actually put our cursor right on it, we have the previous week to be Thursday, and it's giving us 101, and this is exactly what it is. So comparing that, this particular part do the comparison for you to see what is going on in your hospital. Can you see it right now? So this is exactly what it is. We are delving more deep into breaking down the income that the healthcare center generated week over week, month over month, the changes and stuff like that. That is exactly what we are interested in. So let us step off from here. So now we are back to our main view. It is time for we to start creating something just like this now that we have actually seen what it is. So the very first thing you have to do is to make sure you go through the requirements when you get the dataset or the resources downloaded. I just inserted a new page. So on this new page, I'm going to get a card, just a card. And inside this card, we need to bring in the total billing amount. So for you to see the measure behind this, if I click on this right now, you can see the measure we have actually used to compute the total billing amount. So if it is something that is not that clear to you, you might want to take a look at the first video for you to understand everything we are going to do here. Okay, so now that we have gotten this one here, so the next thing now is for we to go ahead and get our Zebra BI chart. So before you can be able to do that, one thing you have to know is this. If you look at here, I'm actually logged in into my Power BI service account, which is very, very important. So you have to be logged in to make use of it. So in case you don't have one, don't worry. So you can go to my description box. I have a link that will teach you how to actually, create one for yourself 100% free. Okay. The next thing now, once you have signed in, is for you to go over to insert, or you can be anywhere. You can be on home and you click over here, then you scroll all the way down, then you click on what? You click on get more visuals. Okay, we're right here on Power BI service or marketplace where we can get more visuals. Come to this particular search bar here. So in the search bar, we're going to type in zebra. So as we start typing, we're going to see all the visuals that Zebra company actually has. So now it is time to make our choice between this, and others. So what we're going to use is going to be the 7.0, which is this particular Zebra table right here. So we have the 4.4, 5.4. So we're going to use this very one. Just click on it. So now you can see it has pricing attached to it. So it's not 100% free, but you can use it for free and you are going to have a little limitation. If you want to unlock all the possibility for you to use the chart, you can actually start the free trial. It's very simple. You don't have to even put your credit card to get it used. So go over here and click on add. So successfully we have it right here. Please follow everything I'm doing right now. Don't jump any step, otherwise you would find a little bit different from what I have done to what you are going to achieve as well. So now we have the Zebra BI table here. I'm going to click on it and have it right in here. Okay, we have a table that has to do with our dates. So over here, date table, I'm going to bring in month. Then once I bring in month here, the next thing now is for me to go to this particular value here. So we're going to make use of group later, but not on this particular visual. So let us go to values and you click over to billing and you select total billing. So if you look at it now, we have total billing. So for we to compare this total billing to the previous month right now, we need to actually add another measure right in, which is not actually available currently as we speak. So here we're going to be using the previous year. So, but instead of using the previous year, we can use the previous month. So we don't want to do with year. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to right click somewhere around here and create just that. I believe this very part is something very simple that anyone can actually do. So here we have the previous month's billing amount. So we're going to use the calculate function here. So with the calculate function, we bring in the billing amount, which is this. And we want to actually offset by 1 month. So we can use date add, or we can use same period last month. So over here we're going to bring in the date we have, which is our date from the date table. So next is for me to put up my comma here. So that will be asking me for the number of interval. I'm going to do -1, comma. So it's asking me if I want to do this by day, month, quarter, or year. Okay, let us pause right here and let us look at something. So on the screen we have day, we have month, we have quarter, we have year as the last one. We do not have weekdays like Monday, Tuesday down to the last week of the day of the week. So we do not have it. So when we get to that particular part of creating previous week, so just note that we are going to use a different technique to get it created, which would not have anything to do with this. Okay, so we are going to use month. Then I will go ahead and close. Then finally I close my calculate, I hit my enter key. So we should actually format this to match what we want. So now it is ready. The next thing we do is to click over here. So we can't just go ahead and click here. Power BI wouldn't know where to push it in. So the next thing we're going to do is to click over here, and we go to the previous year and we plug in previous month. So let me just put this on focus mode. So if you look at it right now, this is what you have. So you can do a lot with this. You can now see this is the previous month of January. The previous month is going to be December of the previous year. So we have 2 years of data. That is where you are seeing that the previous month of January has to do with December. Is something very easy. So what this particular chart is doing here is this. It's showing you where we have growth. So if you look at here now, is actually 188.2, and the current month is actually 852, and this is actually the growth, and this is the percentage of the growth. So because of how they created this chart, so it's not going to switch automatically to previous month. It will be static on previous year. So now you have to update your labeling. So let us go over here now, click over this particular drop down. So this is the previous month's. Let us put previous month value. Then over here we put previous month percentage, right? Then you do the same thing to this one. You're going to put previous month as well. So this particular actual here, the actual means the current month where you are. So you can decide to change the actual to the current month. So, or you can use the short form, so current month, like this. So remember, you have to explain this to the end user to know what exactly this particular short form of you writing current month is all about. Otherwise, keep it much more simpler than this. So the question is this: why are we doing all this? When I hover over this right now, can you see what is going on? So inside it, we have this CM, which is the current month. That is actually January. Then the PM means the previous month, which is the value 188.2, right? That is attributed to what? To December. It's not January. Although it's sitting here on January, it was here because we want the system want to make comparison between this and this value. So for that, it brought this right here. But if you track this particular 1882 now, you're going to find it here in December. Can you see it now? This is exactly what it is. Very simple. So now, when you now hover over this, it gives you the growth. That the growth is actually plus 663.9, and the percentage is actually plus 352.7%. So if it is a growth, you see it over here. If it is not growth, you see red going to the red bar going to the left over here and over here as well. This is what you can actually do to have this created. Very simple, not complicated, and I believe you will do it nicely. So once you have gotten this done, let's go ahead and take off the focus mode. So I'm going to make it a bit smaller. So when you make it smaller, it's going to actually, vanish this particular part, which is the previous month here. So if you want to make sure it's active, you can expand it a little bit, but if you can't find it, no problem, it's there. So it depends on what you want to achieve. So I'm going to keep this over here. Then now, please don't start from the scratch again. Kindly duplicate this. by doing Ctrl C and Ctrl V to paste it down. So once you have done that, push this one over here, right? For now, we can just expand it. So once we have this over here now, instead of we looking at this on the previous week, like this one, we are going to get it off later. But for now, we want to show this based on weekday. So here is our weekday. So our weekday is here. So it's not looking beautiful on this one because this is not previous week. So over here, we want to break it down by what? Break it down by department. So we come over here, we go to department, we choose department here, right? But still, it is not making any sense yet. So to make it make a lot of sense right now, we have to create what I call previous week. So the previous week is what we need right now. Do you remember when I said there is no previous week on date add? So we have day, year, month, and quarter, but there is no previous week in the list. So now we have to customize our previous week. Okay, so let us come down to, can we remove this? We can't remove this, but just wait. So now we go over here, we right click, and we add a new measure. So please pay attention to this. If you have watched my previous video before this particular series, I think I have taught you guys how to get this done over there. So it's something very simple. Let's do it. So you can create it once and keep the code to yourself. So whenever you need it, just copy and paste and just make a little change, and that is all you need to do. So here we have the previous weekday billing amount. So what we're going to do now is to actually create a variable. Inside this variable, we're going to call it current weekday. So for the current weekday, we are going to use selected value to check what is visible on our chart over here. The visibility is what we want right now. So to do that, we have a function called selected value, a very powerful function. So we use this with the weekday from our table, dates table. So we close it. So that will check the selection for us, right? So let us see what is next. Next right now is to create another variable. This one will be the previous weekday. And inside the previous weekday, what we're going to do is to use the switch function to do the magic. So now switch underscore current weekday, comma. Okay, so it is saying if the current weekday is Monday. So before you do this, you must make sure you know how your weekday is formatted. Let us take a look at it. So it's not that visible, but we can actually still see it. Over here, you can see it's formatted in the short form, so which is something very important you need to take note of, otherwise it will not work. So let us bring it back. So if it is Monday, then we want to see the previous day before Monday, that will be Sunday. Then put a comma here. And if it is Tuesday, we want to see the previous day before this, that is going to be Monday. So again, if it is Wednesday, so the previous day before Wednesday should be Tuesday. You can see the sequence. So again, if it is Thursday now, so the previous day before Thursday should be Wednesday. So now it's Friday. We are looking forward to what? We are looking forward to Thursday. And again, if it is Saturday, then we'll be looking forward to Friday. So it's not case, it's not okay. Was it case sensitive? It is not case sensitive. Don't worry about my using upper and lower case. So finally, if it is Sunday, then we should be expecting Saturday. So we close. We have created this particular switch that would check, what is this? Oh, it's Monday. So give me the value for the previous day before Monday. That will be Sunday. So something like this, right? Okay, once done, let's move down. Over here, under the return. So we're going to do calculate. So calculate now is to calculate the total billing amount here. And we do that by using the dates, weekdays, the weekday from our date table. So if it is equals to underscore previous weekday. So let us look at it. So this here is a column that is existing inside our date table. We created this particular date table ourselves. If you have watched the first video, then we have a weekday sitting there that contains Monday to Sunday. So if this checks it and it has anything that is equal to this, in that particular case, we want to actually say, okay, if that is the case, we want to create some calculation. But before then, we want to remove filter from what? From our date table. So like this, we go ahead and close. Then we should do this now. So I think this should do what we are looking forward to seeing. Let us hit the enter key. This is all the magic we need to perform to create week over week change. All right, let us take a look at it and see if what we have done is right or wrong. So over here, we are going to click on the previous year, click over here, and we check the previous week. So the previous week is here. Before we do any other update, let me bring it on focus mode. So we have to update all of this. So instead of us to do previous month, so we do previous week. Very important. So here now is going to be current week. Then we have to update this particular, the value into what? Previous week as well. It is the right time to actually go ahead and get a new version of their card used. So let us quickly click over to this particular part again. So we go to more cards or more visuals. So we search for zebra bear. So this time around, we are going to go with this particular card here. Just click on it. Okay, now add it. So once added, we're going to use it to actually update this particular one we have here. Let me some kind of shut most of those ones here down. So we're going to go over here and verify. Let us step off from here. So successfully it has been added. So we can now click on this particular one here, then go over here now. This is the new one we just added now. Click on it. So here we go. It's not looking pretty yet, don't worry. So there are different versions of this. So when you click on this particular arrow pointing to the right hand corner, so it's going to give you this, it's going to give you this version, it's going to give you this version, the line chart, and it's going to give you this as well, right? So which one do you want? Something like this, right? I love this because you can just click on this or click on this one. It gives you this particular one and send the remaining one out of focus, so you can actually take a look at what you have here. So can you look at what we have done now? If you do not follow my step, you might not get exactly what I've gotten now. You would have something different. So do follow my step, right? So we have gotten this. The next thing now is for we to just keep it somewhere around here. So we're going to create some other cards. So these cards would definitely going to be for our weekend, quarter, and the year, which is something very simple as well. Now let us create for the year. It's very simple. So we're going to be using the last one I brought in, which is this very one right here. Then we just go ahead and bring in the year from this particular part. So we go for the date table. We pick up the year to go. So now we go for the value. So what we need from the value is going to be billing amount, which is the total billing amount here. That is all we need. So we are going to allow this Zebra BI to actually compare the 2 years we have for us automatically. So you can see this particular last year is down by 29.6%, and this is what it is. So you just go ahead and just make this a bit smaller and keep it somewhere. Then we go ahead and copy and then we paste it down. Then we move this right here. So this time around, we're going to be getting quarter inside it. So let's go over here and we select our quarter. So it will always compare the last 2 quarters for us, or the last 2 items on our list, which is very simple. So I paste on that one, and this time around, I'm going to actually do for weekday, or week type rather. So we go ahead and select the week type. So we have either weekend or weekday. So the weekend is down by 60%. So you can see this is much more better than just using ordinary charts to get it done. Although you can do a lot using this particular default chart we have in Power BI, but using Zebra BI, my dear, you're gonna have to actually create more insight with just few effort. It's not really complicated at all. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do right now is this particular chart right here. I don't want to use this very chart. I want to use a different chart. In my previous video, we have done something similar to this. So instead of me to go ahead and start formatting this again, I would rather go over to this particular detail page here. Then I'm going to get this copied. So all I need to do is just to Control C to copy it and come over here to my new page. So we can paste it in. So once pasted, let's go over here. I'm going to click over here now and take off this one from here, take off this one, take off this one. So all I have left is just the billing amount. That is all I have left. So I'm just going to make sure I go ahead and delete this from here. I'm going to keep this very one. So for the time being, none of them are looking nice on the screen. No problem. So it is time for we to actually have them arranged nicely. Then we create our background and make sure we have the 2 versions, the dark and the light version as well. Just go ahead and actually arrange it and make sure there's a space between, just like what I've done right now. Then you do your Windows key, Shift key, hold both of the keys together and press your S key, you are going to have something like this that you can actually use to take a screenshot. And here you can see what I've done. So just go ahead and release. So the screenshot will not be saved in any folder in your computer. It will be saved on the clipboard, so you can use it and paste it anywhere. So we are here. Previously we used this, so right now we're going to create something new. What I'm going to do is to right click and just go ahead and duplicate this very one here. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove most of what I have right in here. So get this one off, exclude this very one here, then Ctrl V to paste. I just pasted this one in now. So if you remember, this is what we actually brought from Power BI desktop. So right click and send it to back. So if we send it back now, it's gonna look some kind of weird. So what I'm gonna do next is for me to click on this, and this. Then okay, let's just click on this very one here. This very one is what we need to click on. Then we send this one to back, so it reveals this one for us, right? So what I'm going to do now is just for me to click on this very one here and just make sure I stretch it out to this level. Then that's going to give me something like this, and just do this like this. All right, so once done, I'm going to go ahead and push this one over here. So I want to maintain the same thing here, so I can just take this one up a little bit, right? So which means this one should actually match it up. Then we open up this particular part here just like this. So with this now, we should be good to go, right? We should be good to go. So if I put this over here, if I move this, this is what I have, right? Then this one here, we don't actually need it any longer. We can take it off from here. Then we are going to have something like this. So this is the previous work we have done. In case you don't know how we got here, my first video will be very important for you to actually get this particular part right here created. So once done, we just need to go ahead and push this into okay, sorry, let's just bring this up, because we want to have this particular white space to match this particular part right here. Very important. So once done here, we are going to go ahead and go to file. So go to export. So we export it as JPEG. So it's saved, just this one. So we're going back to Power BI desktop. So now we are here. So click on a blank space without clicking on a particular chart or any object, and go ahead and bring this up. Then click over to this particular canvas background, then click over browse. So we can't see it until we turn this into 0% like this. So now it's up. It might not look nice yet. So what we need to do is just for me to click on this, hold your control key to multi-select, and this very one here as well. So when we click over here, we're going to find the background here, we take it off. So now it is looking very much more better than usual. So this is what it is. Okay, we have gotten this very one here. It looks okay, but this is not what we want, because the dark part of the chart is not making it to look something very better, you know, on the eye. So what can we do? We have to do something on this, very importantly. So we need to change the color and make sure the color matches our background. That is all we just need to do right now. Before anything, let's just come over here and let's try to click on this particular part here where we have the title. So we have a little drop down. If you just look at it, click on it, and we push this one to 14. So nicely done. Do the same thing to this very one here. We push it to 14. That will bumps it up. So we do the same thing to here. So we're gonna do something like that to this very one here as well. So we do it to every part of it. So if you have done that, the next thing you have to do right now is to start to change the color. And to change the color, we're going to do it one after the other. So click on this particular one here. Let us step off from size and style. So you're going to look at where it says design. So when we click on design, there are different presets you can actually use. Zebra light. So that is how it looks. So we have the doctor hierarchy. And then we don't want to use any of these, right? Because it's not looking something like what we have as our background. So to get it customized, you go to the custom. So it will open up something like this for you. So if you want to change a positive color, you can do that. For a negative color, you can do that. But for me, I am going to leave it at default. All right, next is for you to click on the neutral color, then the markers, the line, and the axis right here. We have to change all of the colors, including the highlight. But for the highlight, I am going to leave it at default. Let us go with this one first. So over here, I'm going to actually customize the color myself. This color I'm going to use should match this particular color here, but something more brighter than that one. So I think A for BBD should do. BBD, and I think it's going to be 1. 1 should do it. Can you see it now? This is the color we have. So you can actually copy this color to use it over and over again. So what I'm going to do is to click over here and just make sure you match all of this. So you do the same thing to this particular one here. So it's something very simple. Make sure this one here is on custom. So once it is on custom, you're going to actually come over here and just do it. So do the rest of the chart. So do the same thing to this one. You go to custom. So you have this opened. So the major one is this particular one right here. Those ones are important in case. The reason why you might not feel the impact of this one if I change it over here right now was because we might not have markers on this one. But if you look at this, it's a bit different from what we have here, because if you look at this underline here, that is the line. So if I change it right now, check it out. Check this marker, change it. Axis should be the line itself. So it would change this for us. So the same thing would happen when I do the same thing to this one right here. We just want to go ahead and match the color and match the color. So now here we go. So the giant one here should be affected as well. So go to design. From zebra, we go over to custom. Then we scroll down a little bit to have everything on focus. Then we go ahead and select this color. Automatically, it changes it for us. Then we go over here. We select this and we select this. All right. So it has been done. If you look at the markers now, the markers had been changed automatically. So minor grade lines, if you want to change the minor grade lines, you can actually do that. So I would definitely leave it at the default. Then next is this particular one right here. I think it has no difference. It's going to be something similar to what we have actually done before. So go to custom. As from custom now, we're going to actually make sure we fill up these particular ones with this color. So we fill up this with this color, fill this up as well. We fill this up. That gives us something like this. Okay, if you look at it now, this is exactly what we have. So the time we're going to see something much more better is when you have this on focus. So you can now see it make a lot of sense than just what we have previously on a small size. So we can take a look at the changes. So previous week, if you're having issue to actually have the previous week on this particular chart, that was because you have actually jumped a step, and the step you jumped was this particular step right here. So what we did was for we to create this particular chart for the first time, then we copy and pasted it over here, make some little changes, and we change it to the right chart that we need to use for this. Okay, so the next thing now is this. If you look at this particular chart here, So let's go with this view. So it has 161.4K. So you might want to remove the decimal place since you have right over the data label. So you should find it. Let's come over here. So we have it on auto. If you go to none, it's going to give you something like this. Now, if you go to auto, it's going to give you something like this. So what about the decimal place? So we put 0 over there. So now it looks much more better than what we have before. So for the percentage, you want to do the same thing. You do this, it's going to give you something like this. So this is what just changed. So if you want to have it on 1 decimal place, so this could actually do the magic for you. So you can now see how you can make changes to your chart to make it look better, right? Okay, we have gotten this done. We can come over here. On the previous one, just copy this part. So copy. So we go ahead and paste this here. All right. So the next thing now is for we to create the dark version of it. So first of all, I'm going to name this one trend. So right click and duplicate. So to be trend dark mode. All right, so we have our trend dark mode. It is time for we to create the dark mode version of our background, which is very simple. Let's do it. So already we have a dark version here. So what I'm going to do is to actually duplicate this very one. So I'm going to click on duplicate. So I would jump into this part here, hold my control key to select all of them, then remove them. So click over here, select this, Control C, and come here and you do Control V to paste it in. So once you have done that, the next thing you have to do is to make sure you click on this one at the top here, click over home and double click on this. So you have a dark version created. You can see it's not actually something you have to spend a lot of time doing if you have actually followed the first video I created. So now you have done this, we have to save it somewhere we can actually pick it from. So this one should be 3. So let us go ahead and pick it up. So we come over here now, we select just a blank space and we take off this very one from here. So with that, we're going to go ahead and bring in the new one. So okay, now it's not looking good at all. What do? We have to do some update for it to make sure we have what we want from it. So let us start from here. So do your Control A and come over here, select this color. So we have making that particular part to look sharp. Then on this one, we click over to the colored value. We come over here, we select this. So here we go. Now we scroll down a little bit. So the card we are using here is actually this particular new card that Power BI just introduced of recent. So now we go to the label. We go over here. We click on this as well. Okay, that does it, but I'm gonna select this very one. Okay, once done, we have something here that has to be, work done. So I think we're going to go to callout should be taken off. Reference label now. Under the reference label, we scroll down and we turn this on. right? So we turn this on. So we go to the value area. So we have to go ahead and select this color for the value. Okay, nicely done. So it is time for you to come over here now, select this particular arrow down and change the color to match what you want. So we want to use something bright. We can go with this particular color right here, right? So if you can't, you just need to go ahead and do this. So maximize it to give you, let's click over here, select the color you want. So make sure you copy this color to be used in other ones if that is what you want to use all through. So copy the color to have the same thing, then go ahead and save it. Then step off from here now. So why? Okay, it's working now. So I can just go ahead and stretch it a little bit. This is what we want. So over here, you do the same thing. Just click over here now. And so if you look at it, the data label and the axis here, which is the X, is not showing up very well. So we have to work on that as well. So can you see it now? Very easy. Just click on this one and you do the same thing to it. Okay, so let us come over to this particular one here. We click over here. So because it is big, it will show everything. Over here, you need to update the color to this particular color. And quickly, we come over to the data label here. We choose to use this same thing. Now everything, pops just like that. So we're going to do the same thing to this very one as well. So click on this one and make sure you match it with the color you have been using previously. So we go ahead and save. And over here, we just choose this. So you can see now the dark version is popping out. But one thing is not really clear. Okay, let us rematch this one again. Okay, it's good. The department is not giving us something good. Let us see how we can do that. Title now. We go to category. I think category should be not category. Legend. Not legend. So we don't want to keep the legend. We can turn off the legend from here. So we don't want the legend. So we have turned off the legend. So our problem now is when we actually see this particular one here, we want to make sure it's on white. Okay, to change this one right now, what we need to do is to go over here. So you can see where it says group title. So click over it and we're going to change it to something bright. So this is exactly what it is that you need to do. So remember, you can actually switch between this and this very one right here. So whichever one you actually love or whichever one pleases you, you can actually choose to use it. So right now we have our dark version, which is something very, very simple to create. So if you have actually watched me create this particular one before, so you would have known how I actually got this particular part right here created, which is not something I have to actually start going through over and over again for you guys. So we have one more to go. So I'm going to actually create that and we'll wrap everything up and we're going to actually make sure we sync everything together and we are going to be able to some kind of leave one page to another and have a master page where we can actually go and select either of the page we want or either of the dashboard we actually want. But for the time being, you have actually learned how to actually incorporate slicer to your dashboard in the previous video, which is not something complicated at all. So we have done it over here. So here we go. The slicer comes up. You can select any race of your choice, and once done, you can click over here and you have it closed. So everything we have done here can actually be applied to your own personal project. And one thing I want you to understand is that, so what we have utilized here is just a mini part of what you can do with Zebra BI. So this same chart we chose and use with our values now and our categories. So it depends on the kind of data you have. There are more to this particular chart. So just make sure you explore and see how you can actually make it much more something better. You understand? So if you work as a freelancer, you have to talk to your clients to actually make a purchase because it's going to bring a lot of insight. Just do that.